Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of CS Cyber. I'm Chad.
I'm Sean.
And today is episode 3 of our NIST 800-171 series, and we're tackling awareness and training.
All right. Let's get it.
Let's get it. That's funny. All right. So awareness and training, right? So these are really the backbone that sets the security culture for the organization.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not just about we're doing some know before training. Like at this, you're really trying to set the overall tone for the organization, right? You want to establish a security culture, and security cultures are established at the
Top.
That's right.
That's correct. Yeah. Well, I'm at the top.
That's
So
good. Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
No,
So,
it's definitely. I mean, I think we definitely need to move towards. We need to move away from security awareness being just a checkbox, right?
Right.
It's becoming. I was just speaking to an organization last night about this. It's just increasingly being brought to the top because of the amount of threats and the diversity of the threats that we have to educate, not train.
right. And really, I mean, we've talked about this, on episodes past where, people aren't kicking in the front door. They're not attacking your firewall at the rate that they were before.
Yeah.
Because you have, 100 employees. So 100 different weaknesses spread out across your organization. That's much easier to follow in a side door.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's way too much to heavily rely on tools, right? I think this is seen as a less effective way, but actually I think this is one of the most effective ways to combat cybersecurity today.
I totally agree. So, I mean, this whole family of controls is really focused on turning your workforce from the weakest link into the most proactive, the best defense for your organization, right? So just kind of an overview of the awareness and training family. It's designed to ensure that personnel are adequately trained and informed about their security responsibilities. And it's a responsibility of everyone at the organization, not
Right.
just the IT teams. And it really focuses on developing, disseminating, maintaining training materials to enhance overall security awareness, right? So just some key requirements to keep in mind when you're looking at this control. You're really implementing a security awareness program, right? Not just a training mechanism or anything like that. So really think about how are you going to instill a security culture at the organization, and how is this program going to work overall, not just how am I going to get this training out and make sure people do it.
Right.
So a lot of things, sometimes people don't think about specific role-based training. It's just a blanket to everybody. Well, the intern probably hopefully has a lot less access and a lot less training requirements than,
Well, we hope so.
Your domain admins and your global admins, right, that are maintaining your infrastructure. And then continuous updates. This is something that we've seen. We've done this. I mean, man, we've been providing user awareness training for a long time, whether in person or know before or whatever. But continuous updates, right? So if your training is training people for 2005 vulnerabilities, it's probably not really effective, and it needs to be updated. So if you're watching the same user awareness training video every single year for an hour and a half, maybe make a switch, do something a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things to move away from is I think a lot of people are like, well, we'll do the yearly security awareness training, and then that's it, right? We'll just fish them for the rest of the year, and we're good.
And it's a checkbox.
Yeah.
But you haven't created a culture. You haven't really created a program.
Right.
You focused on how do I get it out? How do I make sure people are doing it? So
Yeah.
You're on the path, but you really haven't completed the control.
Right.
So,
Right.
So in this control family, there's 3 subcontrols. So take a look at those. There's provide role-based security, basically the things that I just went over for the key requirements. And just some practical examples of this, right? I mean, conducting phishing exercises, that's a key. Getting the training out and making sure people are completing it is a key requirement.
The governance piece,
Yep. So yeah, I mean, so there's a couple different ways you can do this, right? And we'll kind of go over some products that can help. Depending on the size of organization, I kind of break it down into good, better, best, right? So there's free online tools. Like there's no shortage of free online tools where you could build your own program, you could curate your own videos. You could do this all yourself. going to take some time, but it's possible. I mean, if you're, a smaller organization, better, I would say, like KnowBe4 or a security platform like that. I don't think a security platform, I feel like, is so cheap. Like, you're not really going to get a bigger bang for your buck than a training platform, right? It's going to do the phishing. It's going to do the training. It's going to provide some sort of videos, but yeah, it may be kind of stagnant over a while. And then best option, I would say a user awareness training platform that also connects into your larger security fabric.
Yeah.
Right? You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So we've been working on a program to basically align security awareness with security tools. And that's something really unprecedented and is not being done much, if at all. So our Cybersecurity platform is currently in development in two phases. To one, be able to pass scores to our platform, meaning that if a user is taking training and being phished and they're failing, then they're going to be more risky. So they're going to, if an alarm alerts and it references this user and their poor score, the analyst can take that into consideration. Eventually, we will integrate those scores into the platform fully so that potentially the platform could take action based on the score.
So kind of an example, right? We have maybe an EDR alert on a machine, and we're investigating that alert, and we say, oh, this is Sean's machine, and Sean is a clicker now, and we failed his last 3 phishing tests, and by the way, he hasn't done his user training in the last 6 months, so let's just go ahead and drop him into this VLAN where he's all by himself.
Yeah, could be that's pretty brutal. Just dropping them in there all by themselves. It could be.
You're risky, man.
No, it could be. It could be an isolation VLAN. It could be a situation where maybe we're telling the FortiGate to drop them into a web filtering policy that has less ability. So maybe they can't go to social media and do shopping online any longer because they're too risky. That type of thing.
That's even more painful, actually blocking the user from online shopping.
Right.
So.
And I mean, one of the things that it does too is it takes this out of the administrator's purview, meaning that the user can go back to the administrator, right? The IT director or IT manager and say, look what you did. But in essence, it's not going to be, look what I did. It's going to be, look what you did.
Right.
You're the one that's getting the poor score. Our platform is just taking action automatically. I'm not even involved in that.
Well, that's so funny, right? Because how many reminder emails are sent out of all of these platforms to do your training, or you didn't click the fish? You know what I mean? Like all of these things. So that conversation is really, I think, kind of comical, right?
It is.
I can't get to where I want to go, so I need to go talk. I'm not talking to IT.
Right. Yeah, it is.
Interesting. So, all right.
Yeah,
so
fun stuff.
Some key policies that go with this control family. You're going to need a formal policy outlining like the security awareness training for all employees, how you do it, procedures for onboarding new hires with the initial training sessions, process for revising, disseminating, and training materials in response to evolving threats. So don't let your stuff get stagnant. Kind of keep that going. Some common challenges. You want to hit these? So employees just don't like to do it. That's why they don't do it. And I don't know. I mean, we've gone a couple of different ways, right? I mean, now we're in the Cybersecurity platform where I personally like it. It's 2 to 5 minute videos, like once a month. You can get through them really quick. They're different. They're not the same. 45-minute Kevin Mitnick training every single year. So, keep materials relevant. Keep them fresh. Try to find something that's engaging to your employees. And then something that really people struggle with is how do you measure this over time, right? A lot of these platforms are pretty good at doing that for you once you start getting user data in there and things like that. So you may see your click rate go from 80% to 40% to hopefully in like the below 10s.
Yeah.
So,
do you know, I have a good recommendation as far as like overcoming employee resistance and those types of things. The more that you make this training not 100% focused on the company, the better. Meaning that you've got to, and it's in your best interest really, to develop training that also has a tie into the users' lives. It's easier nowadays. Back 10, 20 years ago when I was managing an IT department and I was doing the other side of this, I learned very quickly that you cannot just force things down someone's throat. They're just, people are resistant to that, right? But if you take their hand and kind of, help them through the process, and in this example, maybe including training about how to make their Wi-Fi at home safer or how to shop online safer, how to protect your credit, that type of thing. I think when you start integrating those things into the training, it starts to take the edge off.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, a lot of times users don't know anything about cyber generally, right? I mean, so this may be the only thing that they're getting that could pertain to potentially saving their bank account or something
possibly
like that, right? So the things they learn here or at work really transfer to their personal lives too, because everybody's online, everybody has a phone. So
that's a big benefit to our Sign Awareness platform is we're able to put our videos of secure cyber into the platform. So that's a key differentiator. So if you wanted to include that type of training, you wouldn't have to wait on the vendor to do that, which they may not even do, right? You're able to produce your own training and put it on the platform.
Cool.
Yeah.
So not just us, but clients as well. Anybody.
Yeah, you could put your employee onboarding in there and make that a campaign, right? So as you hire somebody, they get a welcome, video series about the company and all that stuff, and then it takes them immediately into cyber awareness training.
That'd be all. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So just to kind of wrap up this episode,
okay.
User awareness training, 3 controls. It's really all about turning your workforce from your weakest link to your greatest assets. So if you're not doing user and awareness training, get something in place today. If not, let us know. We can help you out. So
yeah, absolutely. Great episode.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah,
we'll see you next time.
See you next time.